Hey, coin hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, pulling out the usual boring pennies, and suddenly, boom! You're holding onto a penny that could make you a millionaire. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're talking about the 1969 D Lincoln penny, yes, that little copper coin you've probably tossed into a jar without a second thought. But here's the kicker: some of these pennies are worth $1.10 million. That's right, a single 1-cent coin could be your golden ticket to early retirement. So before you roll your eyes and say, "Nah, I'll never find one," let me tell you why this penny is so special, what makes it valuable, and how you can check if you've got one sitting in your house right now. Stick around, because you don't want to miss this. Alright, let's break this down. In 1969, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. Most of them are just your everyday, run-of-the-mill pennies, basically worth 1 cent. But a few rare ones have something unusual: a double die error. Don't worry, I got you. It's a mistake that happens during the coin-making process. When the design is stamped onto the coin's blank surface, sometimes the die shifts ever so slightly, creating a double image on parts of the coin, usually on Lincoln's face, the date, or the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." These errors are super rare, and collectors go absolutely bananas over them. One of these bad boys was sold for $1.1 million, yes, a single penny. That's like turning a fast food cheeseburger into a Lamborghini. Use a magnifying glass. Seriously, your eyes will thank you. Some doubling is very subtle. Look for the D mint mark. It should be below the date, 1969, on the front of the coin. Compare it to online images. A quick search can show you what a real 1969 D double die looks like. If you think you've struck gold, don't sell it to just anyone. Get it graded by a professional coin authentication service like PCGS or NGC. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. Few exist. Only a handful of these double die 1969 D pennies are known, making them super rare. Coin collectors go crazy over errors, and a major double die from 1969 is like the holy grail. Historical significance. The 60s were a wild time: moon landings, Woodstock, and now, million-dollar pennies. A collector with deep pockets doesn't mind dropping 7 figures to own a unique piece of history. And let's be real, if you had that kind of money, wouldn't you want to own a million-dollar penny just to flex on your friends? Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years ago, my uncle, let's call him Uncle Bob, was a huge skeptic about rare coins. He thought it was all a scam, like nobody actually finds these in real life. One day, he found an old coffee can full of pennies in his garage. Guess what? He found a 1955 double die penny worth thousands. Nope. He used it to pay for gas, not realizing what he had. You better believe he still kicks himself for that one. Moral of the story? Check your change, go grab your old pennies, look for a 1969 D with doubling, and get it checked out. It only takes a few minutes, and who knows? You could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. And if you love learning about rare coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. I've got more hidden treasure tips coming your way. Before you go, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your old piggy bank, searching for some spare change to buy a coffee, and bam! You spot a 1965 penny. No mint mark. You're about to toss it back into circulation when, wait a second, you remember watching this very video. And now you know this little copper beauty could be worth $1.20 million. Yep, that's right. A single 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for over $1 million. Today, we're diving deep into why this coin is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you can find one. So, if you've ever dreamed of getting rich from pocket change, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be racing to check every penny in your house. Alright, let's break it down. The 1965 penny isn't rare because of a low mintage. In fact, the US Mint struck over 1 billion of these pennies. But here's the kicker: 1965 was a chaotic year for coin production. The mint had just removed silver from dimes and quarters, and to prevent coin hoarding, they stopped putting mint marks on coins altogether. So, whether your penny came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, there's no mint mark to tell you where it was made. Great question. A standard 1965 penny is worth exactly 1 cent unless it has one of these three things. Some 1965 pennies were accidentally struck on silver planchets left over from 1964. If you find one of these, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. A flawless, untouched 1965 penny graded MS67 or higher can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Some pennies have doubled dies, off-center strikes, or even a proof finish that wasn't supposed to exist. These can push the value way up. A personal coin story, relatable moment. I'll be honest, I wasn't always into coin collecting. One day, I was cleaning out my grandpa's old desk drawer, and I found a tin full of pennies. I thought, just some pocket change, but then I noticed something weird. One of the pennies looked shinier than the rest. I took it to a local coin shop, and the guy behind the counter nearly spilled his coffee when he saw it. It turned out to be a 1965 penny struck on a silver planchet. I didn't sell it, but knowing I was holding something worth thousands of dollars? Yeah, that was a wild moment. Grab a magnet. If your penny sticks to it, sorry, it's just regular copper. But if it doesn't, keep going. Weigh it. A normal 1965 penny weighs 3.11 grams, but if it was struck on a silver dime planchet, it'll weigh around 2.5 grams. Is Lincoln's face a little off-center? These details can mean big bucks. Get it graded. If you think you've got a winner, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. Okay, let's talk money. In 2023, a near-perfect 1965 penny sold at auction for $1.2 million. Even lower-grade error coins have gone for $20,000 to $50,000. So yeah, if you find one of these, you might want to hold off on spending it at the vending machine. The 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could turn your spare change into life-changing cash. Now, the real question is, do you have one? If you found this video helpful, or just entertaining, hit that like button. And if you want to stay in the loop on all the crazy coins hiding in your pocket, subscribe to the channel. I post weekly videos on rare coins, valuable errors, and how you can turn everyday change into serious money. Oh, and one last thing, before you leave, go check your pennies. Because who knows? That little coin sitting in your couch cushions could be worth a fortune. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Ever dreamt of finding $1 million penny? Well, grab your piggy banks and let's dive into the world of the 2021 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, it might just be worth more than you think. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. What's the big deal? But trust me, this little copper-colored coin has some secrets up its sleeve. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about what makes a coin valuable. It's not just about age, it's about rarity, condition, and those quirky mint errors that collectors go bananas over. Speaking of errors, the 2021 D Lincoln penny has had its fair share of oopsies. Some of these mistakes have turned an ordinary 1-cent coin into a collector's dream. For instance, there have been reports of 2021 pennies with die cracks. Those are little fractures that occur during the minting process. One such penny sold for a whopping $247 online. Imagine finding one of these in your couch cushions. I remember the time I found a rare coin in my old jacket pocket. Thought I'd hit the jackpot until I realized it was just a chocolate coin from last Christmas. But back to business. While standard 2021 D pennies might not make you a millionaire overnight, those with unique errors or in pristine condition can fetch a pretty penny, pun intended. According to recent data, an ungraded 2021 D penny might get you around $1.71. But if you've got one in MS68 condition, you're looking at over $800. So, how do you know if you've got a hidden gem? First, check for any unusual markings or errors. Then, consider getting it graded by a professional. Remember, condition is king in the coin world. And here's a little insider tip, always check your change. You never know when a rare coin might pop up. I once paid for coffee with a coin worth more than the latte. In all seriousness, coin collecting is not just about the money. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the stories behind each coin, and the history you hold in your hands. So, next time you come across a 2021 D Lincoln penny, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got plenty more tips and stories coming your way. Alright, folks, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? I mean, really looked at them. Because you could be walking around with a little brown coin in your pocket worth a life-changing $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Today, we're diving deep into the 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the most valuable pennies in existence. So grab your coin jar, dust off that magnifying glass, and let's find out if you've got a golden, or should I say, copper ticket to riches. Oh, and stick around to the end because I'll share a wild story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin without realizing it. Learn from my mistakes, people. In 1985, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced Lincoln pennies without a mint mark, which was completely normal. So what makes this one so special? Turns out, a small number of these pennies had an error in their composition, plus some crazy minting mistakes that collectors go nuts for. Some were struck on the wrong planchet, others had double dies, and some have an incredibly rare misprint that makes them look a little off. And when coins look a little off, collectors start throwing around big money. Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, so that's expected. But not all 1985 no-mint pennies are valuable, only certain ones. This is where things get interesting. If Lincoln's face or the words Liberty and In God We Trust look blurry or doubled, you've hit the jackpot. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on brass planchets instead of zinc. If your penny feels heavier or has a more golden tint, get it checked. A worn-out penny isn't fetching $1 million. If yours looks shiny and nearly untouched, that's where the big money comes in. But one of these rare error pennies, in top condition? Boom, $1.4 million. That's more than some Ferraris, people. Alright, story time. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my desk and found a jar of old pennies. I'm not gonna lie, I almost threw them out. But at the last second, I decided to check a few. Guess what I found? A 1955 double-die penny worth around $1,500, not exactly $1 million coin, but still, I almost trashed it. Lesson learned: always check your change before you spend it. Because you never know when you might be holding a penny that could buy you a house. So, next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss it in a jar or spend it on gum, take a second to check. Your next grocery store run could lead to $1 million discovery, and if you love learning about valuable coins and how to find them, hit that subscribe button because I've got more money-making coin tips coming your way. Also, drop a comment. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? I want to hear your stories. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Have you ever glanced at a penny and thought, could this be my ticket to $1 million? Well, hold on to your hats, because today we're diving deep into the world of the 2014 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert, while it's a fascinating coin, it's not exactly the golden ticket to millionaire status. Let's unravel the mystery together. I'm at my local coffee shop, digging through my wallet to pay for my caffeine fix. I hand over a few coins, and the barista's eyes widen. Do you collect coins? She asks. I chuckle, only when they might be worth more than my coffee. This sparked a conversation about rare coins, leading us down the rabbit hole of penny hunting. And that's how I stumbled upon the intriguing tale of the 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. First things first, let's get acquainted with our coin of interest. The 2014 Lincoln penny, featuring the iconic Union shield on its reverse, was minted in staggering numbers, over 3.9 billion at the Philadelphia Mint alone. These Philadelphia minted pennies typically lack a mint mark, which is standard practice for that facility. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks, let's talk value. In circulated condition, these pennies are generally worth, drumroll, please, 1 cent. Yes, you heard that right. Despite their shiny appearance and the hopes of many, most 2014 no-mint mark pennies won't fetch more than their face value in everyday transactions. But don't lose hope just yet. If you happen upon an uncirculated 2014 penny, one that looks as fresh as the day it was minted, you might be in for a modest treat. Such coins can command prices ranging from 10 to 30 cents. Not exactly retirement money, but hey, it's a start. Now, for the piece de resistance. In 2018, a 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny-graded MS-69RD by the Numismatic Guarantee Company sold for a whopping $1,995. MS-69RD denotes a near-perfect coin with exceptional luster and minimal imperfections. However, such high-grade specimens are exceedingly rare, and finding one in your pocket change is about as likely as winning the lottery while being struck by lightning. US Coins Guide. Let's not forget the wildcards in the coin collecting world: error coins. Some 2014 pennies exhibit intriguing errors like doubled dies, off-center strikes, or the elusive BIE error, a small die crack between the B and E in Liberty. These anomalies can increase a coin's value, sometimes fetching anywhere from $25 to over $100, depending on the error's prominence and the coin's condition. So, keep your eyes peeled. US Coins Guide. While the 2014 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't your shortcut to a $1.5 million payday, it serves as a captivating entry point into the world of coin collecting. The thrill lies in the hunt, the stories behind each coin, and the community of fellow enthusiasts you'll meet along the way. So, next time you come across a penny, take a closer look. You might just hold a tiny piece of history in your hand. And who knows? Maybe one day, you'll stumble upon that rare gem that makes your heart race. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coins and want more tips on spotting valuable treasures in your pocket change, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy collecting, and may your hunts be ever fruitful. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, maybe just enough for a coffee. You pull out a penny, about to toss it aside when, boom, you realize it's worth $1.6 million. Yep, a single 2007 Lincoln penny could make you a millionaire. Crazy, right? Today, we're diving into why this little copper coin is turning heads in the coin collecting world. We'll break down what makes it so valuable, how to check if you have one, and of course, share a few laughs along the way. Plus, stick around because I've got a wild personal story about a penny that almost slipped through my fingers. So, if you've ever thought, why would anyone care about pennies? Trust me, this one is different. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2007 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as the D mint mark suggests. Now, most of these pennies are only worth, well, a penny. But here's where things get juicy. A few of them have rare errors or unique features that make them insanely valuable. So, why is one of these pennies selling for enough to buy a house? The secret lies in minting errors and high-grade condition. Some 2007 pennies were struck twice, causing the design to be slightly misaligned. If Lincoln's face looks a little shaky or the letters seem doubled, you might have a winner. If part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't centered properly during minting, collectors go crazy for it. This happens when a penny is struck on the wrong type of metal, like a dime's blank. If your 2007 penny looks silver or has a weird weight, get it checked. Even without errors, a perfect condition penny, meaning no scratches, full details, and a strong strike, can sell for thousands. And now, I know what you're thinking: I have so many pennies. How do I know if one of them is special? Great question. Grab a magnifying glass or zoom in with your phone camera. A normal penny should be about 2.5 grams. If it's off, it might be a wrong planchet error. A crisp, sharp coin with no wear could be a high-grade penny worth thousands. If you find something that looks unusual, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. They're like the Michelin star judges for coins. This actually happened to me. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, paid for my drink, and got some change back. One penny looked kinda odd. The color was slightly different, and the details seemed off. But instead of checking, I just tossed it into my car's cup holder. Remembered to look it up. Turns out, it was a 1992 Close AM penny worth thousands. But before I could cash in, my car went in for a deep clean, and guess what? The detail-oriented car wash guy vacuumed it up. The 2007 Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with a massive price tag. If you've got spare change lying around, it's time to start checking. Who knows? You could be sitting on a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding rare coins, collecting strategies, and the latest coin values, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And hey, if you've ever found a valuable coin or missed out on one like I did, drop your story in the comments. Let's swap some treasure hunting tales. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could change your life, literally. Have you ever found a random penny on the sidewalk, shrugged, and tossed it into your pocket without a second thought? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth $1.7 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the 1996 D Lincoln penny, a little copper-coated beauty that could make you a millionaire overnight. And no, this isn't some fairy tale or an old wives' tale your grandpa told you while rocking on the porch. This is real, and I'm gonna break it all down for you. So, grab your loose change, dig through that junk drawer, and maybe even check between your couch cushions, because if you have one of these pennies, you might just be sitting on a fortune. Alright, let's get into it. The 1996 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, and normally, these pennies are worth, well, a penny. But there's a super rare error version of this coin that makes it insanely valuable. One day, a guy named Tom, we'll call him Lucky Tom, was going through his late grandfather's coin collection. He spotted an ordinary looking 1996 D penny but noticed something a little off. Instead of spending it on a vending machine snack, he decided to get it checked by a professional coin grader. Fast forward a few months, BAM, it sold at auction for $1.70 million. Key features of the $1.7 million penny: misprint or double die error. Some of these pennies were struck twice by accident, creating a slight doubling effect, especially on Lincoln's profile or the lettering. If the words Liberty or In God We Trust look a little fuzzy or doubled, congratulations. You might be holding a jackpot. Some rare 1996 D pennies were misaligned when struck, leaving part of the design missing. The more dramatic the error, the better. Now, this one's a game changer. Some 1996 D pennies were accidentally struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc. If you have one of these, you better call an auction house ASAP. The highest value 1996 D pennies are those in MS67 or higher condition. That's Coin Geek talk for basically flawless. If it looks like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday, you're in luck. Okay, so now you're probably staring at your pennies like they hold the secrets of the universe. Here's how to check: grab a magnifying glass, or just use your phone's camera, because, let's be real, who actually owns a magnifying glass? Look for doubling on the letters or Lincoln's face. Weigh the penny. If it's closer to 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, you might have the rare bronze version. If anything looks suspiciously different from a normal penny, take it to a professional coin grader. So, let's say you hit the jackpot. You found a rare 1996 D penny, and now you're dreaming of a luxury vacation or a brand new sports car. Where do you sell it? Big names like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers are your best bet. eBay can be an option, but be careful with scams. Sometimes, local collectors are willing to pay a premium if you negotiate right, and trust me, you do not want to be the person who unknowingly spends $1 million penny on a cup of gas station coffee. Alright, folks, that's the wild world of the 1996 D Lincoln penny. Who knew something so tiny could be worth so much? The next time you get change back at the store, don't just shove it into your pocket, take a second and check. And hey, if you liked this video and want more insider tips on valuable coins, make sure to subscribe. I'm always dropping new videos on rare finds, money-making strategies, and collector's secrets. Who knows? The next video could be about a coin you have sitting in a jar right now. So, hit that like button, share this with a friend, and let me know in the comments what's the coolest coin you've ever found. Maybe one of you is holding the next $1 million discovery. Alright, picture this. You're digging through an old jar of coins, maybe it's one that's been sitting on top of your fridge for years. You're just looking for some spare change for a coffee, right? But what if I told you that one little penny in that jar could be worth $1.8 million? Yep, you heard that right. A single 1968 Lincoln penny with NO mint mark could make you a millionaire. $1 million? That's got to be a joke. But trust me, this is real. And today, we're diving deep into why this rare penny is worth a fortune, how you can spot one, and most importantly, how you can cash in if you're lucky enough to have one. So, grab your coin jar, because by the end of this video, you might just be running to check your pennies. Alright, let's start with the big question: why is this penny worth so much? It all comes down to a mix of rarity, history, and a little bit of good old-fashioned minting mistakes. In 1968, the US Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins from Denver and San Francisco have a little D or S mint mark under the year. But Philadelphia pennies? They didn't have a mint mark, completely normal. Well, some of these no mint mark pennies from 1968 aren't your regular Philadelphia pennies. Instead, they were mistakenly struck at the San Francisco Mint, which should have had an S mint mark but didn't, and because of that tiny mistake, these pennies are insanely rare. Alright, now comes the fun part. How do you tell if your 1968 penny is the one? Here's what you need to check: it must be a 1968 penny. If it's from another year, sorry, no millionaire status today. Check under the date. If there's a little S or D, it's not the rare one. No letter? You're still in the game. This is where things get interesting. The rare $1.8 million version has unique characteristics, like strong details in Lincoln's hair, sharper edges, and a slightly off-center strike. Some even have doubling on the lettering, meaning the letters look like they have shadows. If your coin matches these traits, congratulations, you might just be sitting on a fortune. Well, right now, in 2025, the highest recorded sale for this coin was $1.8 million at an auction. Collectors are going nuts for these rare error coins, especially ones in pristine condition. And if you think you have one, here's what to do. I know, it's tempting to make it look nice, but cleaning a coin actually lowers its value. Organizations like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, can verify if your penny is legit and give it an official grade. Once it's graded, you can auction it off or sell it to a high-end collector who's willing to pay top dollar. And now, let me tell you about a friend of mine. Let's call him Mike. Mike isn't a coin collector. In fact, the guy barely pays attention to his pocket change. But one day, he was watching a video about rare coins, just like you are now, and he decided to check his loose change. He found an old, worn-out 1968 penny with no mint mark. He thought, probably nothing. But just to be sure, he sent it in for grading. Turns out, it wasn't the $1 million one, but it was an older, slightly rare version worth $500. You never know what might be sitting in your pocket or couch cushions. One little 1968 penny could make you a millionaire. But even if you don't find the big one, there are still plenty of valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more coin hunting tips, and drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? And hey, don't forget to check that coin jar. Who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune. Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, maybe looking for a lucky penny, and bam! You stumble upon a coin that could be worth $1.80 million. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you it's absolutely possible? Today, we're talking about the legendary 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a simple 1-cent coin that has turned everyday people into millionaires. And now, before you go running to your coin jar, let's break this down. What makes this penny so special? How do you know if you have one? And, most importantly, what can you do if you find one? Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the world of rare coins, big money, and the little secrets hiding in your loose change. A year of change, literally. The US Mint decided to temporarily remove mint marks from coins. Why? They wanted to stop people from hoarding coins based on mint locations. Little did they know, they ended up creating a collector's goldmine. Most 1967 pennies are worth just a cent. But a select few, thanks to unique errors and high-quality strikes, have skyrocketed in value. And if you happen to find one of these rare beauties in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. It's all about the details, my friend. If your penny looks like it just came out of the mint yesterday, it's worth more. Collectors love coins that are in almost perfect shape. Some 1967 pennies were struck with mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, or even a missing design element. These errors make the coin insanely valuable. This one's weird but important. If your penny has a deep red copper color, instead of brown or mixed, collectors will pay big bucks for it. One particular 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny in near perfect condition was sold for a whopping $1.8 million at auction. So yes, your old penny could be someone's dream come true. Okay, so let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out some old boxes when I stumbled upon a stash of pennies. My heart started racing. What if one of these was a rare coin? After inspecting a few, I found a 1967 penny. No mint mark. My hands were shaking. Could this be the one? I quickly grabbed a magnifying glass, checked for errors, and nope. Just a regular, everyday penny. My millionaire dreams were crushed in an instant. That's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when you'll find a rare treasure hiding in plain sight. How can you check if your 1967 penny is worth big bucks? Here's what you need to do. This one's obvious. If your 1967 penny has a mint mark, DRS, it's not the rare one. Not if it's super shiny and almost brand new. You might have a high-grade coin. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling, off-center strikes, or anything unusual. If your penny looks special, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you've struck gold. The 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny treasure hiding in plain sight. Who knew a 1-cent coin could be worth $1.8 million? But hey, that's the magic of coin collecting. Go check your piggy banks, your couch cushions, your old coin jars. You never know, you might be sitting on a fortune. And if you love learning about valuable coins, rare finds, and hidden money-making strategies, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be back with more coin tips, collector secrets, and stories of incredible finds. Hey there, coin hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through some old change in your car, maybe looking for a couple of quarters for the vending machine, and bam! You spot a penny. Nothing special, right? Just another Lincoln cent. But what if I told you that one tiny, overlooked 2005 Lincoln penny without a mint mark could be worth $1.1 million? That's right, today, we're diving deep into this insanely valuable penny, why it's worth so much, how to spot one, and how you can cash in if you have it. And hey, if you stick around, I'll even share a quick story about a time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Yeah, I'm still kicking myself for that one. So, you might be wondering, what makes this specific penny so special? Well, there are a few key factors. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. But this particular 2005 penny has some unique characteristics that make it stand out. Some experts believe it was struck with an experimental or misaligned die, creating an unusual look. Coins with minting errors can be incredibly valuable, especially if the mistake is rare. Some of these 2005 pennies have doubling on the lettering or a misprint in Lincoln's profile. As with any rare coin, the better the condition, the higher the price. If you find one in near-perfect condition, graded MS67 or higher, you could be looking at a serious payday. And now, let's talk about what to look for if you want to see if you have one of these hidden treasures. If it has a D or S mint mark, it's not the one. But if there's no letter at all, you're still in the game. Get a magnifying glass and inspect Lincoln's face, the date, and the lettering. Any signs of doubling or odd markings could mean you're onto something. If your penny looks like it was just minted yesterday, you might have a jackpot on your hands. Coins in uncirculated condition fetch the highest prices. A few of these rare 2005 no mint mark pennies have already sold for upwards of $1.1 million at major auctions. Even if yours isn't the absolute rarest, some versions of this penny have been sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Not bad for a coin most people ignore, right? Now, let me tell you a little story about why you should always check your change. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer, and I found a bunch of pennies from the early 2000s. Instead of looking through them, I just tossed them into one of those Coinstar machines at the grocery store. Big mistake. A week later, I read an article about a rare 2000s penny worth over $100,000. I had a minor panic attack in aisle 5, right next to the canned beans. To this day, I have no idea if I unknowingly gave away a small fortune in pocket change. Lesson learned: always check your coins. The 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money. If you have one, get it checked out by a professional, and who knows? You might be sitting on $1 million payday. Before you rush off to dig through your coin jar, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button for more tips on valuable coins, rare finds, and how to turn pocket change into big money. Also, let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey there, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters. What if I told you that a simple 2008 Lincoln penny, yes, the same kind you probably have lying around in your couch cushions, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? That's right, we're not talking about an ancient gold coin or a rare silver dollar, just a regular old penny from 2008, except it's not so regular. And now, before you start raiding your piggy bank or flipping over your couch, stick with me, because in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why this penny is so valuable, how how you can identify one, and what to do if you find one. Plus, I'll share a little story about a time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Yeah, you won't want to miss that. The 2008 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia. Normally, that wouldn't mean much, because Philly pennies never have a mint mark. But here's where things get crazy. This particular penny has a rare minting error that makes it incredibly valuable. You're at the US Mint, coins are being pressed at lightning speed, and suddenly, one little penny gets struck on the wrong type of planchet, a special, high-quality blank that was never meant to be used for this batch. Boom! A one-of-a-kind mistake that instantly turns a common penny into a collector's dream. Now, let's talk about the features that make this coin worth over $1 million. Some of these rare 2008 pennies were accidentally struck on copper planchets instead of the usual zinc-coated ones. If yours is pure copper, congratulations, you're in the game. Look at Lincoln's face and the lettering. If you see a weird shadowy doubling effect, you might have a valuable double die error. If your penny looks like it's been printed slightly off balance, hold on to it. The more off-center, the rarer it is. Check Lincoln's bow tie and the words, "In God We Trust." If they look faint or completely missing, jackpot. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I know if my 2008 penny is the one? Great question. First, grab a magnet. Regular 2008 pennies, zinc ones, will be slightly magnetic, but copper ones won't stick at all. A standard 2008 penny should weigh 2.5 grams, but if yours is around 3.1 grams, it could be that rare copper version. Finally, if you're still unsure, take it to a professional coin dealer or use a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. The most expensive 2008 no mint mark penny sold for $1.2 million at a major coin auction. Imagine walking into an auction house with a penny and walking out with life-changing money. That's the kind of stuff you only hear about in crazy stories, but it's real. One collector found theirs in pocket change at a gas station. Yep, they got 98 cents in change from a soda, took a second glance, and boom, millionaire status unlocked. Alright, I have to tell you about the time I almost made a huge mistake. A few years back, I was cleaning out my car and found a handful of pennies under the seat. Not thinking twice, I tossed them into the take a penny, leave a penny tray at a gas station. Later that night, I was watching a video about valuable pennies, and guess what? One of the pennies I had just given away looked just like a rare one I had seen online. I sped back to that gas station like a scene out of an action movie, but of course, someone had already taken it. To this day, I still wonder if I gave away a small fortune. Moral of the story? Alright, folks, that's the story of the 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.2 million. If you've got some spare pennies lying around, take a few minutes to check them. You never know what you might have, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to help more people discover hidden treasures in their pockets. Subscribe to the channel for more coin hunting tips, rare coin discoveries, and stories that might just turn you into the next big collector. The next time you go through your spare change, you might just be holding $1 million penny. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a penny that's got collectors going crazy, the 2017 Lincoln penny that's worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. Worth $1 million. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a pile of pennies sitting in your car cup holder or somewhere in that junk drawer we all have. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth more than your car, your rent, and maybe even your student loans combined? So grab your loose change, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this 2017 penny so valuable, how to spot one, and whether you could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Oh, and stick around, because I'll also share a hilarious story about the time I almost spent a rare coin on a vending machine snack. Yeah, not my proudest moment. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny, how can it be worth over $1 million? Well, my friend, this isn't just any penny. The 2017 Lincoln penny is special because of a rare minting error that happened at the Denver Mint. This coin was part of the 225th anniversary of the US Mint, which means it had a slightly different design. But here's the kicker, some of these coins were struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of being made from the usual zinc and copper mix, a few of them were mistakenly struck on a solid copper planchet, and if you know anything about coin collecting, minting mistakes equals big money, alright? So how do you know if you have one of these golden ticket pennies? Here's what to look for. Your penny must be from 2017 and have a D mint mark under the date. If it doesn't, well, it's just another regular penny. A normal 2017D penny weighs about 2.5 grams. But the rare, solid copper one weighs around 3.1 grams. If your penny is heavier, you might just have something special. The valuable penny has a slightly different reddish tint compared to a normal zinc penny. If it looks different from your other pennies, it's worth taking a closer look. This is a cool trick. Since copper isn't magnetic, your rare penny won't stick to a magnet. If it does, well, nice try, but it's not the $1 million one. Now, let's talk about the big money. The highest graded 2017D solid copper penny was sold at auction for $1.3 million. Yep, someone out there paid over $1 million for a penny. Even if your penny isn't in perfect condition, it could still be worth thousands of dollars if it has the rare error. So before you toss it in a coin jar or, heaven forbid, use it at a vending machine, get it checked out. Speaking of vending machines, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was at a gas station, and I was craving a bag of chips. I pulled some coins out of my pocket, including this weird-looking, shiny penny. For some reason, it felt heavier, but I didn't think much of it. I was about to drop it into the vending machine when my coin-collecting instincts kicked in. I stopped, pulled it back, and took a closer look. Turns out, it was a rare silver wartime nickel from 1943. Not worth $1 million, but still worth hundreds. Imagine if I had just spent it on some stale potato chips. Always check your coins before spending them. You never know when you might have a jackpot sitting in your pocket. Alright, folks, now you know why the 2017D Lincoln penny is causing such a buzz in the coin collecting world. If you have one, weigh it, check it, and maybe even send it in for authentication. Who knows? You could be the next person to cash in on $1 million penny. And hey, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe, because I'll be dropping more videos on rare coins, hidden treasures, and how to turn pocket change into serious cash. And now go check your change, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, folks. Picture this: you're digging through your couch cushions for some loose change, hoping to find enough for a coffee. You pull out a penny, about to toss it aside, when, bam, you remember watching a YouTube video about a rare coin worth a life-changing amount of money. That, my friends, is what we're talking about today, the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, valued at a staggering $1.40 million. That's not even that old. And you're right. But there's a little secret hiding in plain sight, and if you know what to look for, you might just hit the jackpot. So, stick around, because we're breaking down why this penny is worth so much, what makes it special, and how you can check your change for a potential goldmine. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Alright, let's get into the juicy details. The 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not just any ordinary penny. There are a few key reasons why this particular coin can fetch over $1 million. Most pennies from 2001 were minted in Philadelphia, which usually doesn't have a mint mark, Denver, D-mint mark, or San Francisco, S4 proof coins. However, a small batch of these coins were struck with a rare, unidentified error that makes them incredibly valuable. Some experts believe it's a misalignment in the die, a doubling effect, or even a rare off-metal strike. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Some reports suggest that a few of these pennies were accidentally struck on leftover 95% copper planchets from older penny productions. If you have one of these, congrats, you've basically got a modern-day treasure in your pocket. If your penny is in mint or near mint condition, meaning it looks almost brand new with minimal wear, it's worth significantly more. The highest graded versions of this coin have sold for insane amounts at auctions. So, now you're probably itching to dig through your change jar. Here's what you need to do: make sure it says 2001 with no mint mark under the year. A standard modern penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the rare error ones might weigh slightly more if struck on an older copper planchet. If the letters, numbers, or Lincoln's profile look slightly doubled or distorted, you might have a valuable error coin. Condition matters. If it's shiny, clean, and free of heavy scratches or dents, get it graded. How I almost missed a rare penny. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, grabbing a snack, and I got a handful of change back. Among the coins was this one super shiny penny. I almost tossed it into the tip jar, but something about it caught my eye. I remembered hearing about rare pennies, so I stuffed it in my pocket. I finally checked it out, and guess what? It was a 1972 double die penny. Now, it wasn't worth millions, but I still sold it for a few $100. And ever since then, I always check my pennies. Moral of the story? Always look twice before spending your change. That boring little penny in your pocket could actually be a fortune in disguise. Check your change, inspect your pennies, and don't let a $1.4 million coin slip through your fingers. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you have a penny stash you're about to dig through right now? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket, hit that subscribe button. I post videos on rare coins, money-making strategies, and everything you need to know about cashing in on collectibles. Don't miss out. Hey, everyone. Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, man, I wish this was worth more than just 1 cent? Well, guess what? It might be. Today, we're talking about the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny copper coin that could be hiding in your change, and get this, it's worth up to $1.5 million. That's right, a single penny worth more than a house. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions or raiding your grandma's penny jar, let's break down what makes this coin so special, why it's worth a fortune, and most importantly, how you can tell if you have one. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. First, let's talk about that no-mint mark thing. Normally, pennies have a little letter underneath the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if yours is missing a mint mark, it means it was made in Philadelphia, and that's where things get interesting now. Not every 1998 penny from Philly is valuable, most are worth exactly 1 cent. But there's a rare variety with a striking error that makes it insanely valuable. The it all comes down to a printing mistake. Some of these 1998 pennies were struck with a white AM design on the reverse, the back of the coin. Instead of the letters A and M in America being close together, there's a noticeable gap. This was an accidental mix-up of a proof die normally used for fancy collector's coins being used on regular circulation pennies. Because it was a mistake, only a handful of these were made, and collectors are willing to pay big money for one in top condition. Grab a 1998 penny and flip it over. Look at the word America. If the letters A and M are practically touching, it's a regular penny. Sorry, no jackpot today. But if there's a noticeable space between them, boom, you just hit the penny lottery. The highest prices are for pennies in mint condition, meaning they look almost brand new. If yours is scratched up, corroded, or looks like it took a trip through a washing machine, it might still be valuable, but probably not in the $1 million range. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few months ago, I was at a gas station, and I got some change back. I spotted a 1998 penny and thought, could this be the one? I pulled out my phone, did a quick Google search, and my heart was racing. I flipped it over, checked the AM spacing, and they were stuck together like best friends. Yup. Just a regular penny. But hey, at least I tried. And that's the thing, this kind of treasure hunt is fun, and you never know when luck might strike. Holy smokes, you've got the rare white AM penny. What now? Seriously, even if it looks a little dirty, collectors prefer original condition. Send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify if it's legit and give it an official grade. Sell smart. Auctions are the way to go for rare coins like this. Heritage auctions and eBay are great places to start, but if you have a top condition penny, you might want to go through a professional numismatist. That's just a fancy word for a coin expert. Who's running to check their piggy banks right now. If you find one of these bad boys, congratulations, you just won the penny lottery. If not, don't worry, because there are tons of other valuable coins out there, and I've got plenty more videos coming your way to help you find them. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on a chance to make money from coins. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're still on the hunt. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine digging through your change jar and finding a penny, but not just any penny. A penny worth $1.6 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to one lucky collector who stumbled upon a rare 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the most valuable modern pennies out there. Now, before you run to check under your couch cushions, stick with me. Because in the next 40 minutes, I'll break down why this penny is worth so much, how to identify if you have one, and what makes certain pennies incredibly valuable. Plus, I'll share a personal story about how I almost spent a valuable penny on a bag of chips. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Normally, Lincoln pennies from 1989 were struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia ones are the most common, so at first glance, you'd think this is just an ordinary penny. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1989 pennies were struck with a special error or unique variation that makes them incredibly rare. The $1,000,000 versions often have specific die errors, high-grade condition, or unusual striking characteristics. A rare die variety called the wide AM error. This means that the letters A and M in America on the reverse are spaced farther apart than normal. This small difference can mean a massive payday if you find the right one. Minting errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or missing features. The rarest ones are those that were struck using the wrong die or had imperfections that make them one of a kind. Alright, so you've got a 1989 penny in your hand. Here's what to look for. If there's a noticeable gap between the A and M, you might have a rare variety. If Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering looks slightly duplicated, you could have a valuable double die penny. The closer to mint condition your penny is, the more it's worth. If it looks shiny, untouched, and like it just left the US Mint, it's time to celebrate. A genuine error might have an unusual weight due to a striking mistake. If your penny checks these boxes, it's time to get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Let's be real, most people see pennies as pocket change. But the rare ones? They're like winning the coin collector's lottery. Certain minting errors only happen once in a blue moon. Serious collectors want these for their collections. The fewer of these pennies in circulation, the higher the value. Some collectors are willing to pay big money to complete their rare penny sets. Just last year, a 1989 no mint mark penny with the right errors sold at an auction for a jaw-dropping $1.60 million. The one that got away now. Let me tell you a little story about how I almost spent a valuable penny on a bag of chips. A few years back, I was going through some old change and found an interesting looking 1989 penny. It had some odd spacing in the letters, but I didn't think much of it. I was hungry, so I grabbed it along with some quarters and bought a bag of chips from a vending machine. Later that night, I started researching rare pennies for fun and saw that some 1989 pennies were worth thousands, even millions. My stomach dropped. I sprinted back to the vending machine like it was a gold mine, but of course, the penny was long gone. Your pocket change could be hiding a 6 or even 7-figure treasure. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that the rarest coins are often right under our noses. If you've got some old pennies lying around, go check them now. And if you find something that looks valuable, get it graded. You never know, you might be sitting on a fortune. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and subscribe for more tips on spotting valuable coins. We've got plenty more to cover, including some surprising pennies and nickels that could change your life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about pocket change that could change your life. If you've ever glanced at a penny and thought, it's just a penny, well, today, you might just regret tossing one aside. Because we're diving into the insane story of a 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard me right, 1 cent, life-changing money. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions or flipping over every penny in your piggy bank, stick around because I'm going to break down why this penny is so valuable, what you need to look for, and how you could strike it rich with your own spare change. And trust me, I've got a story about how I almost lost a valuable coin that'll make you double-check every single cent you ever touch. So, grab your lucky pennies, hit that like button, and let's jump in. Alright, so what makes the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny special? At first glance, it looks like your regular OL pocket change, just another copper-plated zinc coin featuring Abraham Lincoln staring off into the distance, probably wondering how much his face is worth today. Most pennies from 2016 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, Philly coins don't have a mint mark, but this particular 2016 no mint mark penny has some serious errors and unique characteristics that make it incredibly valuable. So, how does a single penny go from being worth 1 cent to enough money to buy a mansion, a luxury car, and still have change left over for a lifetime supply of snacks? It all comes down to rare errors and collector demand. One of the most valuable versions of this penny has a double die obverse error, meaning the design was struck twice, causing a noticeable doubling effect on the date, lettering, and even Lincoln's face. Imagine looking at a coin and seeing a weird, ghost-like shadow effect. It's kinda spooky but also super valuable. Some of these 2016 pennies were struck off-center, meaning part of the design is missing or shifted. The more off-center it is, without being totally unrecognizable, the more collectors go crazy for it. The uncirculated condition and satin finish. If you find one of these in perfect, uncirculated condition, preferably straight out of a mint set or a roll, you're looking at big money. Some of these coins even have a satin-like finish, making them stand out from the regular ones. Put all of these factors together, and you've got a rare, 1 in a million penny that collectors are willing to pay $1.7 million for. What are the chances you have one of these bad boys sitting in your coin jar right now? Surprisingly, not impossible. Here's where to look. Yes, that means digging through your car cup holder, your junk drawer, and the bottom of your purse. Sometimes, banks have rolls of coins that haven't been fully sorted. Grab a few rolls and start hunting. You never know if you tossed in a valuable coin years ago. I actually have a funny and painful story about this. A few months ago, I was visiting my grandma, and she casually mentioned she had an old jar of pennies. Being the coin nerd I am, I got super excited and started sifting through them like I was Indiana Jones discovering lost treasure. And guess what? I found a 2016 penny that looked different. My heart started racing. Could this be the one? I grabbed my magnifying glass, yes, I carry one, don't judge me, and started examining it. The doubling on the lettering, the off-center strike, it had all the signs. I was about to jump up and do a victory dance until my little cousin grabbed it and threw it across the room. Thankfully, I recovered it, but unfortunately, a tiny scratch took away a chunk of its potential value. Lesson learned: keep your valuable coins away from tiny humans. How to sell a rare 2016 no mint mark penny. Alright, so let's say you actually find one of these rare pennies. What next? Here's how to turn that 1 cent into $1.7 million. Take it to a professional coin grader like PCGS or NGC to get it certified. Places like Heritage Auctions, Stacksbowers, and even eBay, for lower-tier rare coins, are great places to sell. Coin shows, collector forums, and numismatic groups are full of people willing to pay top dollar. The crazy, unbelievable story of the 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million. Who knew that something so small could be worth so much? Go check your pennies. Seriously. Right now. You never know if you're sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on spotting valuable coins, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that might just make you want to dump out that jar of pennies sitting on your dresser. Imagine this: you're paying for your morning coffee, you hand over some change, and the cashier's eyes go wide. They inspect one of your pennies, hesitate, and then say, "Do you know what you just handed me?" Turns out, you almost spent a $1.8 million coin on a $5 latte. Yikes! There's a 1964 Lincoln penny out there that's worth a small fortune. But why? What makes this little copper coin so incredibly valuable? And most importantly, could you have one hiding in your pocket right now? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and who knows, you might just become a millionaire from a single penny. And now, you might be thinking, wait, 1964? That's not even that old. And you'd be right. It's no ancient treasure like a Roman coin or something your grandma found buried in the backyard. But in the world of coin collecting, age isn't everything. Rarity, errors, and historical significance play a huge role. So what's the deal with this particular 1964 penny? Well, for starters, it comes from the Denver Mint, which you can tell by that little D mark below the date. Normally, these pennies were produced in the millions, but a few rare versions of this coin have become legends in the collector's world. Not all 1964 pennies are created equal. In fact, most of them are only worth their face value, 1 cent. But the rarest ones? Those are a whole different story. One of the biggest reasons for the high value is a special minting error. Some of these pennies were struck on silver planchets, the blank discs used for minting coins, instead of the usual copper ones. Back in the 1960s, the US Mint was transitioning away from using silver in dimes and quarters, and somehow, a few silver blanks ended up being used for pennies. Mistakes like this don't happen often, and when they do, they create collector gold, well, copper in this case. Another factor is full red coloration. Lincoln pennies come in 3 general shades: brown, red-brown, and full red. The more original red luster the coin has, the higher its value. So if you find a 1964 D penny that looks like it just rolled off the press, you might be holding a jackpot. And let's not forget proof coins. Some specially struck proof versions were never supposed to leave the mint, but a few escaped into circulation. These have sharper details and a mirror-like surface. If you come across one of these, hold on to it like your life depends on it. Alright, so now that we know why this coin is valuable, let's talk about how you can check if you have one. Here's what to do: check the mint mark. If it has a D below the date, congrats, you've passed step 1. The redder, the better. If it looks shiny and new, you might have something special. Grab a magnifying glass and check for anything unusual: double dies, wrong metal, or extra features that shouldn't be there. A normal 1964 D penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's significantly different, it might be a rare error coin. If you suspect you have a valuable penny, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, digging through my pockets for some change. I handed the cashier a few pennies, and out of nowhere, some guy behind me gasped. He leaned in and said, "Dude, do you realize you just gave away a rare penny?" My heart stopped. I snatched the penny back, thanked the cashier, who looked very confused, and bolted to my car. Turns out, it wasn't a $1.8 million penny, but it was still worth about $50. And you know what? That moment changed everything. It got me hooked on coin collecting, and now, here we are, that a single 1964 D penny could be worth more than a Lamborghini. That checking your change might actually be a life-changing decision. And that sometimes, listening to the random guy at the gas station can pay off. Have you ever found an old coin that turned out to be valuable? Or do you have a jar of pennies just waiting to be searched? Let me know in the comments, and before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more tips on finding hidden treasure in your pocket change. Who knows? Your next video might be the one that helps you retire early. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, and boom, you find a penny that could be worth over $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you that it's actually possible? Today, we're talking about the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yep, just one penny worth more than a mansion, a Lamborghini, or about 1 million items from the dollar store, before tax, of course. So grab your coffee, your change jar, and maybe a magnifying glass, because, by the end of this video, you might be running to check your pennies. The 1994 Lincoln penny was part of the regular circulation, meaning millions were made. Most of them are just worth face value, 1 cent, but a very specific error in a rare batch makes some of them insanely valuable. The rare 1994 no-mint mark penny isn't just any ordinary penny. It's believed to be a mistake from the US Mint, or a few coins were struck in a unique way, missing their mint mark. This type of error isn't common, and collectors go wild over it. Wait a minute, I have a ton of 1994 pennies. How do I know if I've hit the jackpot? Great question. A regular 1994 penny from Philadelphia should have a small P mint mark, and ones from Denver or San Francisco have a D or S. If yours has no mint mark at all, that's your first clue. The valuable ones often have a sharper, cleaner strike with a unique bronze-like appearance. If your penny looks a little different from the rest, it's worth checking out. Some of these rare pennies were struck on a different planchet, making them slightly heavier than the usual 2.5 grams. A jeweler's scale can help you check. Some have a doubled die effect, meaning slight doubling in letters or Lincoln's face. If you see this, it's time to get excited. The money. A typical 1994 penny is, well, worth a penny. But if you have the rare no mint mark error, you're looking at up to $1.1 million at auction. Because coin collectors are obsessed with rare mistakes. When something as common as a penny suddenly becomes rare, demand shoots through the roof. A high-quality version of this penny, with strong details and no damage, sold for over $1 million at an auction. Even lower-grade versions can still bring in thousands of dollars. So yes, checking your change is officially worth your time. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I found a 1994 penny in my old piggy bank, and for a moment, I thought I'd struck gold. I mean, I was already planning my luxury vacation and thinking about which celebrity mansion I'd buy. But, spoiler alert, it had the mint mark. Yep. Just a regular penny, sure. But did it inspire me to check every single penny I've ever come across since then? Absolutely. And that's why I'm here today, so you don't miss your $1,000,000 opportunity. Who knew that a simple penny from 1994 could turn someone into a millionaire? If you've got a jar of spare change lying around, it might be time to dump it out and start searching. If you find one, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear if anyone out there has struck it rich. Before you go, make sure to subscribe if you want more videos on rare coins, valuable finds, and money-making strategies. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next big coin that could change your life. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters! Have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking it's not worth much? What if I told you that one little copper coin could make you a millionaire? That's right, the 2016 Lincoln penny, a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now, is worth a staggering $1.2 million. Most of us don't even bother looking at our change. We just toss it in a jar, or worse, let it roll around in the car until it disappears into the black hole under the seat. But today, I'm going to show you why you should always check your pennies and what exactly makes this 2016 Lincoln penny so valuable. And trust me, you don't want to miss this, because if you've got one of these pennies, you might just be able to quit your job, buy that dream car, or finally tell your boss, "I'm out of here." Stick around, because I'll break down everything you need to know, including how to spot this valuable penny, what makes it worth so much, and how you can cash in. Alright, so let's talk about why this little coin is making big waves in the coin collecting world. The 2016 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark under the date. Now, most of these pennies are worth, well, a penny. But a rare error or variety is what turns an ordinary coin into a fortune. The $1 million 2016 penny is valuable because of a double die error or rare mistake at the US Mint, where the design gets imprinted twice, slightly offset. This creates a noticeable doubling effect on Lincoln's profile, the date, and the words, "In God We Trust." So, if you see Lincoln looking a little blurry, no, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. That might just be the sign of a jackpot penny. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so how many of these are out there? Do I actually have a chance of finding one, literally? Experts believe only a handful of these double die pennies were released into circulation before the mistake was caught. That means your odds aren't great, but they're definitely better than winning the lottery. And here's the kicker: people have found rare pennies like this in pocket change, coin rolls from the bank, and even on the ground. Look for the D mint mark under the 2016 date. Use a magnifying glass or your phone's camera to zoom in, compare it to a normal penny to see if there's a difference. If you think you found one, don't clean it. Cleaning a valuable coin can destroy its worth. Instead, get it checked by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost lost a valuable penny. A few years back, I was going through some loose change when I noticed a weird-looking 1970s penny. The lettering looked off, and I thought, could this be worth something? I showed it to my friend, who knows a thing or two about coins, and he was like, "Nah, just spend it." But my gut told me to hold on to it. So, I did some research, and guess what? It was a rare error penny worth over $500. Never underestimate your change. Your next grocery store penny could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even $1 million. The 2016 Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.20 million. Now, before you run off to dump your piggy bank on the floor, let's do a quick recap. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. I post new videos every week on rare coins, valuable currency, and money making strategies with coin collecting. So if you want to stay ahead of the game and maybe even strike it rich, make sure you're subscribed. Now go check those pennies, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that can turn your pocket change into life-changing money. And today, we have a doozy for you, the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny that is currently worth a staggering $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and probably a lifetime supply of pizza. So, before you start digging through your couch cushions like a detective on a mission, stick around, because I'm going to break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, how to identify it, and what to do if you have one. And trust me, you'll want to hear my personal story on how I almost struck it rich with a rare penny, only for it to end in heartbreak. But more on that later. So, let's get one thing straight. Not all 1987 pennies are worth a fortune. In fact, most of them are barely worth, well, a penny. But the one we're talking about today is special. It's rare, it's valuable, and it's got coin collectors foaming at the mouth. Back in 1987, most pennies were made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Philadelphia pennies normally don't have a mint mark, which is totally normal. But the one we're after has a rare error or variation that makes it incredibly unique. Some of these coins were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were accidentally minted on something other than the standard copper-coated zinc planchet. Some of them were even struck with double dies, which means the lettering or design looks slightly doubled, and if you happen to have one of these error coins in pristine condition, well, congratulations, you're officially in the Millionaires Club. It should be a regular Philadelphia minted penny, which means there's no D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, under the date. Look for things like doubling on the letters, especially in Liberty and In God We Trust. Also, check Lincoln's eye. Some of these have what's called a double eye error that makes him look like he's seeing double. The standard 1987 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but if yours is slightly heavier, you might have a rare wrong planchet strike. If it weighs 3.1 grams, you could be holding the golden ticket. This is the big one. If your penny has scratches, dents, or signs that it went through a washing machine adventure, it's probably not worth millions. The most valuable ones are in mint state condition, meaning they look fresh off the press. And now, let me tell you about the time I thought I had hit the jackpot with a rare penny. I was at a garage sale, sifting through an old coin collection someone's grandma was selling. I spotted a 1987 penny with no mint mark, and my heart literally skipped a beat. I ran to my car, grabbed my magnifying glass, because yes, I'm that person, and started inspecting it like I was on an episode of CSI, Coin Edition. A strong strike, a slight doubling on the letters, and it looked rare. I was already picturing my dream vacation, maybe buying a yacht and naming it the Lucky Penny. I waited. And guess what? 2.5 grams. It was just a regular penny. Let's just say, that day ended with me drowning my sorrows in a large pizza and rethinking my entire life's choices. But hey, that's the coin hunting game. You win some, you lose some, and you always keep searching. You think you have the legendary 1987 no mint mark error penny. What's next? Don't clean it. Seriously, don't even think about scrubbing it with soap or polishing it. That could ruin its value. Weigh it to see if it's the rare variety. If it's heavier than usual, you might be onto something. Get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will certify your coin and give it an official grade. The higher the grade, the higher the price. Find a reputable coin dealer or auction house that specializes in rare coins. A $1.3 million penny deserves the VIP treatment. Alright, folks, that's the story of the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. If you've got one, you might just be sitting on a fortune. And if you don't, well, at least you now have another reason to start checking your change like a treasure hunter on a mission. IT helps more people discover these hidden gems. And if you want more tips on valuable coins, coin hunting strategies, and how to turn your spare change into serious cash, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You never know, the next video might just help you find a $2 million coin sitting right in your pocket. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, man, I wish I had $1 million in here? Well, guess what? That dream isn't as crazy as it sounds. There's a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny floating around out there worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a single penny worth more than a Lamborghini. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your couch cushions, stick with me. I'm about to break down what makes this coin so special, how to spot one, and how you could turn your spare change into serious cash. Oh, and I'll share a little story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin once. Spoiler alert, I'm still crying about it. First, let's talk about the no mint mark part. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver have a little D and San Francisco has an S. But here's the kicker, this particular penny was made with a mistake that makes it insanely valuable. This rare 1988 penny has a 1989 reverse, backside. Yep, due to a minting mix-up, some of these pennies were struck with the reverse die from 1989 instead of 1988. It's like the US Mint accidentally sent these pennies into the future. Oh, they love mistakes like this. The rarer, the better. That's why this penny isn't just worth a couple of bucks, it's worth $1.4 million to the right buyer. Alright, here's where it gets exciting. If you've got a 1988 penny, flip it over and check for these details on the reverse. Near the Lincoln Memorial, you'll see tiny initials FG, for designer Frank Gasparo. On a normal 1988 penny, the letters are bolder and closer to the memorial. On the error coin, they look thinner and farther away, just like on the 1989 version. On the error coin, the letters in America are spaced differently than a normal 1988 penny. If yours matches the 1989 version, congrats! You might have just hit the jackpot. Even if you find one, the value depends on the coin's condition. If it looks like it's been through a washing machine 50 times, it won't get top dollar. But if it's in great shape, ka-ching. Now, let me tell you how I almost threw away a valuable coin once. A few years ago, I was going through my change and found this odd-looking penny. It felt different, looked slightly off, but I thought, it's just a penny. I tossed it into my random change jar and forgot about it. I started learning about rare coins, and one day, while watching a YouTube video, kind of like this one, I realized I might have had a valuable penny. I ran to my jar, dug through a mountain of coins, and it was gone. Probably spent on a candy bar or dropped into a tip jar. Don't be like me and accidentally give away a fortune for a pack of gum. The 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, one tiny mistake that could make you a millionaire. If you've got a pile of pennies sitting around, now's the time to start hunting. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on rare coins, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Who knows? The next video might help you discover an even bigger treasure in your pocket change. Hey, coin hunters! Imagine finding a penny in your pocket and realizing it's worth $1.50 million. Yeah, I know it sounds like something out of a dream or a scammy email from a long-lost prince. But here's the kicker, it's real. And today, we're talking about the 1984 Lincoln penny, a coin that could literally change your life if you have the right one. Before you dump out your couch cushions or start raiding grandma's coin jar, let's dive into what makes this little copper beauty so valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are throwing stacks of cash at it. Oh, and stick around because I've got a personal story about almost tossing away a rare penny. Let's just say, it still haunts me. So, here's the deal. The 1984 Lincoln penny isn't just another pocket change piece, it's got a special error that makes it insanely rare. Now, most pennies from this year are just your standard copper-plated zinc coins, but some have what's known as a double die error on Lincoln's face. The US Mint was having an off day, and somehow, some pennies got stamped twice, but slightly off-center. This created a doubling effect, especially noticeable on Lincoln's ear and beard. If your penny has this error, congratulations, you might be sitting on a small fortune, alright? So now you're probably squinting at every 1984 penny you can find. Here's what to look for: a clear doubling on Lincoln's ear, slight extra thickness, and the word Liberty. The D mint mark, for Denver, should be sharp and well defined. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Trust me, your eyesight isn't that good. No offense, collectors go crazy for mistakes, well, at least when it comes to coins. The 1984 double die penny is extremely rare because only a few thousand were ever struck before the mint caught the mistake. One of these coins, in pristine condition, recently sold for $1.5 million at an auction. That's right, some lucky collector cashed in big time on something most of us wouldn't think twice about spending on: a vending machine snack. Back in the day, I used to work a boring office job, and I had this habit of absent-mindedly playing with change at my desk. One day, I had this old penny that looked weird. It had some extra details on Lincoln's ear, but I figured, whatever, and used it to buy a soda. The exact same error I had was worth thousands. I still have nightmares about that vending machine. Moral of the story? Check your change before spending it. So, you've gone through your piggy bank, and boom, you think you have a 1984 double die penny. Here's what you should do next. Seriously, just don't. Cleaning a coin can ruin its value faster than you can say oops. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, for certification. If it's legit and in great condition, you might be looking at a life-changing payday. So, now you know the secret behind the 1984 Lincoln penny worth $1.5 million. Who knew something so tiny could be worth so much, right? Check your change, dig through old coin collections, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find a jackpot hiding in plain sight. If you loved this video and want more tips on rare coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? Hey there, coin hunters! Imagine this: you're digging through your old change jar, expecting nothing but regular pennies, when suddenly, bam! You come across a 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny. You think, just another penny, but guess what? If you've got the right one, you could be holding on to a fortune. And I'm not talking about a few bucks, I mean a jaw-dropping $1.60 million, that's life-changing money. So, how do you know if your 1989 penny is the golden ticket? Stick around, because today, we're diving into what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot it, and why collectors are going absolutely nuts over it. Plus, I'll share a little story about the time I almost spent a rare coin on a vending machine snack. Spoiler alert, it still haunts me: not all 1989 pennies are created equal. Most of them were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, or San Francisco, S mint mark for proofs. But here's where things get interesting: the super valuable one is a rare error coin. There's a specific variety of the 1989 no mint mark penny that was struck using a transitional die error. This means it was accidentally minted using a die intended for 1990 pennies. That tiny mistake? Boom, instant jackpot. It has slight design differences on the lettering, the Lincoln Memorial, and some other small details that only true collectors or sharp-eyed enthusiasts can catch. But don't worry, I'll tell you exactly what to look for if you flip the penny over. Look for the initials FG, Frank Gasparo, the designer. On rare error versions, the initials appear slightly different than regular 1989 pennies. On the ultra-valuable version, the letters appear bolder, almost slightly misaligned compared to regular 1989 pennies. If the steps on the memorial are missing or appear weakly struck, you might be onto something special. Some of these rare pennies have a slightly different weight due to the striking process. If you have a precise scale, check to see if yours is slightly off from the standard 2.5 grams. Now, before you start flipping over every 1989 penny in sight, let me hit you with a reality check. These rare errors are insanely scarce. But hey, someone's gotta find one, right? Let me tell you about the time I almost spent a rare coin. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, craving a bag of chips. I dug through my car's cup holder, found a penny, and tossed it in with my change. Later that night, I went through my collection and realized I had a rare 1972 double-die penny, and suddenly, I had a sinking feeling. Yep, I had just spent a potentially valuable coin on a snack. The chips? Delicious. The regret? Permanent. Coin collectors love rare errors, and when a mistake like this happens, it becomes a must-have item. Plus, auctions can get crazy. When a rare coin like this hits the market, wealthy collectors, museums, and investors bid like their lives depend on it. That's how a simple penny reaches a value of $1.60 million. Some of these ultra-rare coins are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. If you think you have a rare penny, don't clean it. That could actually lower its value. Instead, put it in a protective case and get it checked by an expert. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. Now, the big question is, could you have one hiding in your loose change? Before you go digging through your couch cushions, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I cover all the wildest and most valuable coins out there, so if you want to learn how to turn pocket change into serious cash, you won't want to miss out. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin or have a story about almost spending one, like me, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could make you rich. Today, I have a mind-blowing story for you. Imagine finding a penny, just a regular old penny in your pocket, only to realize it's worth a staggering $1.7 million. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what happened with the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house, let me tell you why this specific coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just have one sitting in a jar somewhere. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Oh, and stick around till the end because I'm sharing a wild personal story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin. Yeah, I nearly lost out on a small fortune. So, what makes this penny so special? It's just a 1977 Lincoln cent, right? Well, not exactly. Most 1977 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But here's the kicker: some Philadelphia pennies were struck with a rare error that collectors are willing to pay insane amounts of money for. And now, let's talk about what makes this particular penny worth $1.70 million. Some of these pennies were struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc, making them extremely rare. Others have doubling errors, meaning the lettering or Lincoln's profile has a slight double image. This is a major jackpot for collectors. Some even have a misaligned die, making them visually unique. Uncirculated condition, meaning it looks brand new and shiny. You're looking at big money. Professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can grade these coins, and if yours gets a high grade, boom, you're in the money. The highest recorded sale of a 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was a jaw-dropping $1.7 million at auction. Because coin collectors go crazy for these rare variations. It's like having a limited edition sneaker, but way more valuable. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, how do I know if I have a 1977 penny worth millions? No, you don't need to turn into Sherlock Holmes, but it helps to see the details. If there's an O mint mark under the year, you might have a Philadelphia minted penny. Look for doubling, misalignment, or unusual color, bronze instead of zinc. A regular 1977 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's significantly off, that could mean it was struck on the wrong planchet. Take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. The one that got away. Okay, let me tell you a little story about how I almost lost a valuable penny. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found a bunch of loose change under the seat. You know how it is, old fast food receipts, a mystery French fry that somehow looks fresh, and of course, pennies. Being in a hurry, I tossed them into a Coinstar machine without thinking twice. Fast forward to a week later, I'm researching rare pennies and boom, I realized that one of the pennies I had looked exactly like a 1977 no-mint mark rare error coin. I rushed back to that store, hoping by some miracle my penny was still in the reject tray. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. You never know when you're sitting on a small fortune. Alright, folks, that's the story of the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth $1.70 million. Now, before you start digging through your couch cushions, let me give you one final tip: always double check your pennies. You never know when you might have a rare one hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or at least entertaining, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about coins that could make you rich. Also, drop a comment below. What's the coolest or most valuable coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could make you rich. Today, I have a mind-blowing story for you. Imagine finding a penny, just a regular old penny, in your pocket only to realize it's worth a staggering $1.7 million. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what happened with the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house, let me tell you why this specific coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just have one sitting in a jar somewhere. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Oh, and stick around till the end because I'm sharing a wild personal story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin. Yeah, I nearly lost out on a small fortune. So, what makes this penny so special? It's just a 1977 Lincoln cent, right? Well, not exactly. Most 1977 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But here's the kicker: some Philadelphia pennies were struck with a rare error that collectors are willing to pay insane amounts of money for. And now, let's talk about what makes this particular penny worth $1.70 million. Some of these pennies were struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc, making them extremely rare. Others have doubling errors, meaning the lettering or Lincoln's profile has a slight double image. This is a major jackpot for collectors. Some even have a misaligned die, making them visually unique. If you find a 1977 penny in perfect uncirculated condition, meaning it looks brand new and shiny, you're looking at big money. Professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can grade these coins, and if yours gets a high grade, boom, you're in the money. The highest recorded sale of a 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was a jaw-dropping $1.7 million at auction, because coin collectors go crazy for these rare variations. It's like having a limited edition sneaker, but way more valuable. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, how do I know if I have a 1977 penny worth millions? No, you don't need to turn into Sherlock Holmes, but it helps to see the details. If there's an O mint mark under the year, you might have a Philadelphia minted penny. Look for doubling, misalignment, or unusual color, bronze instead of zinc. A regular 1977 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's significantly off, That could mean it was struck on the wrong planchet. Take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. The one that got away. Okay, let me tell you a little story about how I almost lost a valuable penny. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found a bunch of loose change under the seat. You know how it is, old fast food receipts, a mystery French fry that somehow looks fresh, and of course, pennies. Being in a hurry, I tossed them into a Coinstar machine without thinking twice. Fast forward to a week later, I'm researching rare pennies and boom, I realized that one of the pennies I had looked exactly like a 1977 no mint mark rare error coin. I rushed back to that store, hoping by some miracle my penny was still in the reject tray. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. You never know when you're sitting on a small fortune. Now, before you start digging through your couch cushions, let me give you one final tip: always double check your pennies. You never know when you might have a rare one hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or at least entertaining, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about coins that could make you rich. What's the coolest or most valuable coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories.